to all the dispossessed youth of Africa, for perpetuation of communion with ancestral spirits through the fight for African freedom, and in the firm faith that the dead, the living, and the unborn will unite to build the destroyed shrines. Greetings, family, and welcome to another special message from the Ancient Ones. It's been a while since I've, actually channeled their message. But as I told you before, we are the Ancient Ones as well. I am an Ancient One. Many of you watching me are Ancient Ones. And so we are already connected to the, to the rhythm of life and the flow of our great mother. But before I even get into it, special shout out to every single person that supports us on Patreon and sends us gratitude donations through PayPal. We appreciate, love you so much. We're so grateful for your support, and there is a special gift for you in the mail. Family, the message is that we are currently witnessing the second exodus out of Babylon. And, I had said this last year, that it was time for every person to return to their nation, to return to the nations where the people look like you. So if you're melanated, it's time for you. I mean, we were everywhere, so you know how complicated that one is. But it is now time. We are like in the times when Yeshua was about to be born and everyone had to return to their nations so that they could do the grand census. That is the time we are in right now. And the irony of what is happening right now, if you are spiritually seeing the seasons and the times, then you'll know what time it is, family. Because as we've witnessed Trump's ICE, deportation incentive and deportation laws come into effect, a lot of our African brothers and sisters who have been in the US, some for a few months, some for years, some for decades, have found themselves being, given a free one-way ticket back to the motherland. Many of them have come back weeping, crying. Many of them, please check out my main channel, Dr. Mumbi Show, where I talk about it more, were actually set up by their brethren, by their brothers and sisters who they had, told about their status. But as that is happening, and we also know that Europe is trying to come into all kinds of agreements to bring back the illegal migrants, who mainly from Africa, back to the motherland. And it's like they feel it with an urgency. They're even ready to pay. I think it was Sweden that actually came out and said they were ready to pay 20,000 euros or something like that for anyone who would willingly return to their nations. So it's like this, if you look at this, this is so prophetic, family. And now, with the closing down of US aid, and with Europe going into a recession, we are witnessing a lot of Mzungus also leaving the motherland. And there has been a silent exodus of Mzungus and, Asians and Indians that hasn't really been discussed, especially the ones who were brought by the British in the 60s and 70s to East Africa. Of course, Idi Amin kicked them out of Uganda, but a lot of them in the last 15 to 20 years, a lot of the Indians from Kenya have also been quietly resettling in India, family. And a lot of the Mzungus who were working for all these, Westerners who were working for all these NGOs that were supposed to be helping Africa but were more creating obstacles, are also now finding themselves having to leave because Trump shut down, U.S. aid with us, with his, and immediately 44,000 mainly expatriate jobs in Kenya alone were affected. You can imagine how this is across the 50 countries of Africa. It is literally like Trump has pulled back this soft power army that has done so much damage to the motherland. And he's not doing it for us. Trump has his own wars, but we are collateral beneficiaries. And his people who have built these lives out here are collateral damage. But we are collateral beneficiaries. And so a lot of them were living, their housing was paid for, they got to live in extremely, in the LAs of the African nations they ended up being in, the super posh neighborhoods for security reasons. They got to have a four-wheel. They got to live a lifestyle they could never, ever have afforded or lived if they had remained in the divided states or in Europe. And unfortunately, they took on the neo-colonial persona, but they were actually agents of the West, just like tourists, to maintain that influence, that soft power influence on the people where they see you as a savior because you're the ones who have the money, you're the ones who have, they don't know that money is actually being given for you. We've been played a good one, family. But how amazing that it's all over now. And so we are in the second Exodus. And if you have the opportunity, if you are from the motherland, come home. Because you will still have a few years to build your life. But every year it gets harder for our family in the diaspora who have been there for 20, 30 years. And I know even 40, even 50, even 5. And I know how it is in the diaspora where it's very hard to really save money. But you get stuck in this rabbit wheel, in this hamster wheel, where you really have faith that, you're going to have that breakthrough, you're going to be able to save that 10, 20, 30, $100,000, and once you do that, you're going to move back and you're going to build this amazing paradise for yourself. It doesn't work like that. And in these times, family, when the awakening is happening in earnest, it is good to return to where you're from, even just for security reasons. Because as Trump becomes more hardline, we see him now even wanting to interfere in the affairs of South Africa and things like that. We are going to have to now come into ourselves. He is the best thing that happened to Africa. Even if it's like negative, it is the best. Because he's dismantling the globalist system, the globalist stronghold with just a signature. And he may rebuild, but then they're more into this AI anyway, maybe I'll talk about the Trump secret society one day. But come home. A lot of you reach out saying you'd love to, but you don't have money, you don't have this, you don't have that. If you intend it in your heart that you want to come home, the ancestors will find a way. Where there is a will, there is a way. But don't be too comfortable in foreign lands. Don't be too comfortable in other people's nations, family. And whatever look at how people really talk and treat the people that look like you where you live. And that will let you know how secure you really are. And you see what's happening in Kenya, for example, family, in Nyanyuki, where I have my shrine, is a lot of the settlers and the colonialists, now their children and grandchildren, almost like apartheid South Africa. See, they created these conservancies which were to hide the minerals and the gold and the lithium and the uranium. And now, a lot of them have moved into those conservancies in a hope that, and moved into Nyanyuki because the British Army is there, in a hope that that will keep them safe because they don't want to go back to the divided kingdom. They don't want to leave Eden. And so they're hoping that and praying, but they see what's coming and they've prepared themselves. But their numbers have also dwindled, family. This world is done. Babylon has fallen. I've said it, family. We are in a brand new dispensation. But no one will ever tell you their power is gone. They'll hold on for dear life until you realize you're the one in control. And they'll give you fear and do all these crazy things to make you trip out, just to keep you where they want you. There will be one last Exodus, family. But that Exodus, people will not be able to prepare. People will not be able to plan. It will literally have to be leaving the foreign nations with the clothes on your back. Don't let it get to that. Anyway, special shout out to every single person that supports us on Patreon and sends us love donations through PayPal. We appreciate, love you so much. And if you'd like to advertise on the Dr. Mumbi Show Network, definitely get in touch. We have a very wide viewership on X, on Patreon. Sorry, not Patreon, but please support us on Patreon. On X, on Instagram, on TikTok, and on YouTube, family. And we get minimum 1 million views across those platforms of our unique, like-minded people. So definitely email me for the rates, mumbi.seraki@gmail.com. Tuko pamoja.